Well, folks, I don't foresee getting much pushback for saying this, but if I do, this probably isn't the video for you. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a cancer to our government and more broadly, humanity as a whole. And frankly, that is a disservice to cancer. You can leave now if you like, but if you agree, then you probably want to stick around to see this. And while you're here, drop a like and subscribe to join our resistance at Really American. And we'll talk more about the absolute atrocities that she's been on a tear with lately, but I want to jump into this clip right off the bat. I'll just give you a little context here, and then we'll watch the full thing. It is a little bit long, but I want you to see Democratic representative from New Mexico, right here, Malanie Stansbury, absolutely tear down Marjorie Taylor Greene in a shouting match. Marge gets shouted down. It's so cathartic to see. Accusing Marjorie of doing what all Republicans do, really, and referring to children in the school lunch program as garbage. Marjorie, of course, would know because you are what you eat. And this absolute teardown came as part of a House Oversight Committee hearing on tax cuts, where Stansbury offered an amendment to prevent the Trump administration from cutting benefits, including Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and food assistance programs. And here is Marjorie's retort and the utter smackdown that transpired.
So I want to read my amendment. It's very straightforward. It says, the president or any member of the president's cabinet or any officer or employee of a federal agency may not take any action, including an action related to staffing, office realignments, budgetary, data, or operational changes that would impact the delivery or timing of vital services that Americans depend on, including Social Security, Medicaid, food assistance, housing, income supports, or other programs, or two, to attempt to privatize these services or programs. It's a very straightforward amendment. I would hope that my friends across the aisle, of course, I doubt they will, would support this amendment. I hear our friends go on TV daily and say that they have no intent to cut Medicaid, even though their instructions for this reconciliation package say that they're instructing the Committee of Jurisdiction to cut funding by $880 billion. We know that this would impact almost 250,000 New Mexicans and the healthcare system of our entire state. We know that millions of Americans will lose access to healthcare if these Medicaid benefits get cut. We know that over 150,000 New Mexicans, especially our elders, our seniors, and our low-income families, would lose access to food assistance, whether that's SNAP assistance to buy groceries or whether that's school lunches if these cuts go through. And we know that this will also impact our communities across the board in just the basic programs and services, whether it's the VA, Social Security, or any of these programs. So this amendment says that the administration has got to stop doing that because it's hurting the American people. And with that, I yield back.
Ms. Greene.
Hi. I'd like to point something out that our Democrat colleagues know this because they did reconciliation before when they were in charge. And, you know, it may be hard for some of the freshman Dems to understand, but this is not a policy debate. That's not what reconciliation is. This is a budget process. And so for the American people watching at home, our Democrat colleagues are sitting here trying to score points and spread more lies and divisiveness about Republicans in order to spread more garbage across the country. But this is about budget, Mr. Chairman, and this committee is trying to do serious work, and we need to stay focused on budget, and that's for the American people. And it is very serious that's what we remain focused on here in our work on oversight. And the Democrats know that provisions must be carefully crafted because they did it before, and it has to be scored by CBO to be included in this budget bill. And that's what we're trying to do, Mr. Chairman, and I just wanted to point that out for the people watching at home so they are not swayed by this entertainment today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. I also think, Mr. Chairman, just being conscious of language. You know, in this room just a few moments ago, our friends across the aisle used the word garbage to refer to our fight to protect your Social Security. I am so sorry, but seniors, veterans, children whose parents have died, kids on school lunches are not garbage. The American people are asking us to fight for them, and the fight for their rights, for the funding that keeps them alive, the fight to help the people of this country is not garbage. I think that, you know, we're sitting here and the debate has taken this bizarre turn where it's being put forward that somehow we don't care about fiscal responsibility. I'm sorry, that's just baloney, okay? Like, we are all about making the government more efficient. We are all about addressing the needs of the American people. This amendment is about defending the existing programs that keep Americans alive, and neither them or those programs or the federal workers who provide those programs are garbage. These are the American people. These are who we work for. We don't work for Donald Trump. We don't work for the billionaires. And the entire argument that's being put forward here today, that cutting a few little pieces here and there and decimating the federal workforce and these programs is somehow going to save the deficit, is literally a bold-faced lie. The CBO has scored your reconciliation bill. The CBO says it is going to raise the debt by $5 trillion. So if you're going to sit here and say it's not going to raise the debt, you're just lying. That is factually untrue. So if you want to play the CBO score game, let's talk about what this bill actually does. It's going to raise the debt by $5 trillion. It's going to increase deficit spending by $37 trillion over the next 30 years. And it's going to give your billionaire donors and all those guys out there that you're trying to help, including these guys serving in the cabinet, the largest tax break in American history. And how are you going to do it? By balancing the books on federal workers and the elders and seniors and children of this country. And that's why we're fighting. And it's not garbage. And the fight is not garbage. And we are here to defend the people who we work for, not the billionaires. I yield back.
Completely agree, and I think far too many people, MAGA specifically, but even some a lot of Democrats in Congress, but even some Democratic voters are on the complete wrong side of the class war. Yes, there is a culture war. Yes, there is a political war. Yeah, there's even a MAGA civil war because these idiots can't do anything together and tear themselves apart. But if you are watching YouTube right now, if you are going to work, if you are enjoying your retirement or Social Security or Medicare or any of those things, you are not on the billionaire side of the class war. Maybe the congressional people who take money from those people and put it in their pockets or trade off insider information like Marjorie Taylor Greene did, maybe they're on the billionaire side of the class war so they can suckle at the teat of trickle-down economics. But we the people who this government is supposed to work for, are not. And until we get the cancerous swine like Marjorie Taylor Greene and her ilk, the MAGA ilk, out of this government, out of our country, then they will continue to do what cancer does and attack its host until it dies. And if you support fighting that shit, then join our resistance, make your voice heard, let me know how you're feeling in those comments down below, drop a like, subscribe, and if you made it this far, hit me with a blue heart so I can respond in the comments. Thank you all for watching. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you all in the next one.